Do I? Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes, Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. It is now November. October is over. I don't have to watch any more horror movies. I can just watch the kind of movies I want to watch, like the absolute horrible movie I watched last night. It was not fun. And that's not the movie we're going to be talking about today because, spoiler alert, Frankenstein was one of my favorite movies of the year. But I watched
Hold
I like
up.
how you just said you're not going to watch horror movies. We're talking about Frankenstein.
I don't have to watch horror movies
It was a
anymore.
show.
Also, here's
Anymore.
Frankenstein.
It was a
Also,
show.
here's Frankenstein.
I watched this movie. I watched a couple things last night on TV I'm going to talk about before we talk about Frankenstein. But let me say hi to you guys first because that's important. Jacob Walsh, what's up, man?
Hi, I'm all good. I'm really interested to what movie you think was really bad though. Now I want to know what you watched.
Oh, well, we're gonna get into it.
Okay.
Did you
all
watch
right.
anything? So I know we're all like, watching
Yeah.
Chair Company, which has been exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch anything else besides Frankenstein this weekend?
Yeah, I've actually watched a lot of movies this weekend. I had Joe Bob. Joe Bob was on Friday, and he did. It was like Italian horror night, and he had. They showed like two classics, which I've always heard about but never seen. One is
The Mario Brothers movie.
It's called like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I think that's the right name. Yeah,
I feel like we need to jot that down. Sounds
The
like
Bird with the
something I might
Crystal
like.
Plumage. It's a Dario Argento film. Who
Mhm.
he's like
Of course.
a well-known name. But I had never seen this specific film. And then the other movie was Blood and Black Lace, which I'd also had never seen.
Mhm.
And then he also had like a team of 4 people to debate like who created the Italian horror film genre.
Mhm.
And it was really fun because it was like 4 people who I'm assuming do nothing but watch movies, like really smart people who knew way more than I would ever know about horror movies. So, but we watched those. Those were really good. And then yesterday I watched Hobo with a Shotgun. Really fun movie.
Hold on. Earlier you stopped me in my tracks because you were mad about my horror movie joke. I'm a little mad at both of you right now because you said you watched 2 incredible Italian horror movies, and I said, "Oh, Super Mario Brothers," and neither one of you.
I gave you a smile.
I don't know. Oh, I'm sure audio listeners appreciated that.
My smile?
Yeah.
Oh, they're probably watching.
Okay, Hobo with a Shotgun. That's cool.
Yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun. After watching Frankenstein, I came home and immediately watched Shape of Water. And then I also watched a movie last night called what was this movie called? It's called like Invasion of the something monsters, space monsters.
I hope it's called Invasion of the Space Monsters. That sounds like if they asked me to come up with a name for the movie.
That's like a game that's available on your computer when you buy it.
So it's really maybe it's not Space Monster. Oh, I wish I had it written down right in front of me.
Minesweeper.
So it's an old Japanese movie, and it's made of it's like 4 episodes of a TV show, and they stuck them together and made a movie out of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think I have it. What is it? It's right here. Anyway, the plot is that like it's the year 2000 and dinosaurs come back, but for some reason they all it's super monsters attack. It's Attack of the Super Monsters. Okay. So
when was it made? If it was supposed to be set in 2000, just curious.
Oh, it was made in late 70s. So it was
their version of the future.
Yeah, it's a TV show that ran in 77. So there's a show. There's like 30 episodes of a show, but then they edited 4 of the episodes together to a movie, and it's free on Tubi. And the dinosaurs come back in the year 2000, but none of them really look like dinosaurs anymore. They're all like, they look like kaiju, and they can talk. And it's this really funny. There's this like Tyrannosaurus Rex who's their leader, and he just wobbles around and he's like, must kill the humans. But and it's live action. It's people the dinosaurs are people in suits, and there's miniatures, but the people are all animation. So anytime it cuts to people, it's like it turns into an anime. And it's really weird. And it's kind of Power Rangers-y. It's like a team of 4.
Will you say the name one more time so I can jot it down?
Yeah, Attack of the Super Monsters.
You said you found it on Tubi?
Yeah, it's on Tubi. There's a bunch of like kaiju stuff and Ultraman stuff, and Tubi just has a ton. And I was just looking through Tubi, and I landed on this, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So I watched it, and it was really fun and silly, really silly looking. And it was very funny. It kept me very entertained, so I watched it last night. And then the last movie I watched since the last time we talked was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
The original?
Live action original?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a good one. I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. It was very good.
Very cool. Movie. I watched 2 things last night. So the first thing I watched was the movie I was referencing. It is called A House Full of Dynamite. Is that what it's called? It is a new Netflix movie. And I was interested in the subject matter, and I like the director, and I like some of the cast, and I had heard some decent things. This movie was directed by Catherine Bigelow, who has made a
House of Dynamite.
House of Dynamite, not full of. I think I added full of.
Made it better.
These critics are full of it. So Catherine Bigelow's done some awesome movies. I mean, she directed one of my favorite movies of all time, Point Break. Yep. Mm-hmm. And she made she's done some really I don't know, people would call them important modern day military movies. Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30. Hey,
sorry.
Come on. Okay, listen.
What people would say that? Who were the
Hurt
people?
Locker,
fuck out of Point Break. So yeah.
Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30 are critically acclaimed films, which I enjoy.
Important though. What's so important about Hurt Locker?
What's so important about Hurt Locker? I'm not sure, but Zero Dark 30 was about SEAL Team 6.
So, why is that important?
Because there was that meal you get after the SEAL Team 6 meal.
Let's give credit.
Okay, so this movie is about the beginnings of House of Dynamite. It's about the start of a nuclear war. The United States is getting attacked, basically, is the premise of the movie. And it starts off really intense and throws you right into it. And it's cutting away to the Defense Department and the president and all the people involved. One thing I appreciated about it didn't try, you watch Armageddon and they show NASA and it looks like a Dave and Buster's. And you're like, there's no way it looks like this, Yeah.
A lot of lights.
A lot of lights.
Billy Bob Thornton's there.
Tornado machines going off.
A lot of tornado machines, a lot of Billy Bob Thornton. We brought in the world's best deep core driller. So this movie, I feel like they tried to go for accuracy and as far as what all these situation rooms actually look like. And then and Tracy Letts is in it, and he's great. But then the movie, it gets to the point where it's time to decide if we're going to retaliate. And then it almost does Lost, where I was like, oh no, please don't give me backstories of all these characters. I don't care. It didn't do that, but it retells the same story 3 times from 3 different characters' perspectives. Mm-hmm. Let me just go into spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. Then the movie ends. Nothing happens. Literally, there's no explosion. There's no war. It is literally just people freaking out for 2 hours.
It's non-chronological. It shows the sequence 3 times from different perspectives. That's what the summation of it is.
And even though it's Catherine Bigelow, and even though she's an incredible filmmaker and has made these great movies, this movie suffers from that same thing that all of these Netflix movies suffer from, where it looks like shit. It doesn't look good. All the handheld cam stuff feels really forced. It's just, I mean, look, we had just watched Frankenstein, so maybe it's not fair to any other movie.
It's not fair to say all of the Netflix movies because Frankenstein came out on Netflix.
But okay. Little bit different though. I'm talking about your standard.
We'll say most.
Your standard direct to Netflix type movie. For whatever reason, you can't really pinpoint it, but you know it when you see it. You hear that it's like that, whatever that sound is like what the style of the movie is.
Yeah, that Megan Fox AI robot movie comes to mind for like what you're talking about right now.
Exactly.
Generally,
yes. So it was not good. Good cast, some good people in there, Idris Elba and like I said, Tracy Letts and others, but not a fun watch.
Also, so I'm looking at Catherine Bigelow's filmography, her directing filmography. And there's some movies that I've like heard of on here. But Point Break was in 1991.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like this is not like a great filmography, I think. You know what I mean? So
I've never seen K-19 The Widowmaker, I will be honest.
I mean, there's a lot here. There's a lot here I haven't. So I mean, maybe it's unfair for me to say it's not great because I haven't seen a lot of these.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a lot of shit I've never heard of. Or
Abby, go for it.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Jacob. She is Catherine Bigelow. I would say very gifted with action and like gunshot sequences and violent sequences. So that's kind of a thoroughfare I'm noticing through all of her movies. There's a little bit of a military theme going on. So yeah. And just to speak to her direction in Point Break, there is, and you've talked about this, Craig, like a scene, the shootout scene that kind of gets botched by Keanu Reeves' character. Like that, it's like a straight long through like a drug bust, like there's girls in the shower, the music's going, and it's just like really intense. And like I think she, as a woman, capturing that intensity and that like male testosterone is pretty unique. So I could see why you're wanting to follow her career, Craig.
I mean, look, I do enjoy like military and like war movies. I don't watch every one of them and I don't love every one of them, but the subject matter was interesting enough. I heard people talking about it and I did not like it. I will never watch it again. So maybe you liked it. I followed this watch up with, and this is not a movie. I'll talk about this briefly, but I have some thoughts. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was on last night. I watch it every year. It's always a very strange journey through seeing all of these from Milan to Mist. It's an erotic journey, really. I did not watch the whole show. There was a couple artists that I was particularly interested in, more out of sheer curiosity. It's usually when there's like an artist or a band that hasn't been around in a long time and you're like, are they going to play? Is it going to be a reunion? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. I remember like Steve Perry showed up when Journey got nominated and they hadn't all been on the same stage in like 20 years. And then they played, but he didn't. And it's kind of weird. So last night, the White Stripes were inducted and one of them showed up. Meg White was not there. I don't know why. And then some not great musicians that I'm not going to put other people's music down, but I don't know what 21 Pilots is. Maybe people like that, but they did some White Stripes songs and I did not enjoy it.
Is there drama between the two of them?
Meg and Jack White? I don't think so, because he referenced her multiple times and said she helped him write his speech, but they did not say why she was not there.
Okay.
It's hard when you have a whole band of two people to get everybody back.
It's tough. It's tough.
So, but as they were going through all these White Stripes songs, I was like, oh man, they actually did have a lot of songs. And then Outkast was nominated, and that's like, again, hometown, Outkast, legendary rap group, influential. I mean, they've even made it to some of our Rodney's playlists. If I recall.
Yeah, I'm a big fan right here. And I think Jess is the one who put that on the Rodney's playlist. Let's give her proper credit. But yeah, I've been a huge fan of Outkast. And Craig, you were, I was listening to a book in the room while you were watching this, and you came in and got me for the Outkast package. And I was grateful. I wanted to see them perform, but it was nice to see like Killer Mike and other influential artists talking about Outkast influence and stuff as a kid growing up in Atlanta when ATLians was like huge and Those are just like some big albums.
Cut to my complaint. They did a big Outkast performance, but Andre 3000 did not perform, even though he was there and did the speech and seemed very grateful.
Yeah.
Only Big Boy performed, and then other people were there. And Abby, I don't know if you've seen, but Doja Cat forgot all the lyrics to the song, and it just wasn't very good. I did some research today. Apparently, Andre 3000 has stated he has no interest in rapping anymore and has nothing left to say and does not want the pressure of live performing. I say, give me the No, I don't hear. Give me the reunion. You're there. Everybody wants to see it. Jacob says
you
no.
want to see it. I don't know. I don't care about any of these fucking bands that are on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know. It's just all junk. I liked Outkast. I liked Outkast once upon a time, but this is all like. It's all.
Did you see the other inductees?
No, nor do I care.
Bad Company, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden. Oh, this is the other weird thing. Jim Carrey inducted Soundgarden.
Mm-hmm.
And
he didn't even reprise the mask on stage. You mad about that too, Craig?
No, he was there. They had the mask. It was right there. And he refused. No, but he did it was weird because it's Jim Carrey in 2025. He did a Fire Marshal Bill bit where it's just like, okay, we're doing it. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I just wasted 10 minutes of everyone's time to tell you I did not like anything I watched last night. What a waste of fucking night.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I feel like that award show or the induction doesn't have the spark and excitement that the Grammys or the VMAs or any of that stuff. There's a lot of better award shows.
Well, anyways, congratulations to all the inductees. I'm sure someday there'll be a podcast Hall of Fame, and who's it going to be? We'll all three be there, but one of us will refuse to do a live podcast.
Guess who?
It's going to be Jacob. But it also
I'm not going to that. I'm not going to that.
The ceremony. Fuck them. You're the Andre 3000. You're just doing a flute album.
But I'm not even going to show up.
Yeah, I know it. Well, listen, guys. So, all joking aside, last month was really, really fun. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for all the movie episodes we did. Thank you to everybody's kind words in support of our trip to Camp Crystal Lake. Camp Daniel Morgan from Friday the 13th, Part 6. That was a really fun weekend. It was quick, but we had a great time. And I forgot to tell you guys, I capped off my evening last night. If you thought those first two things sucked, I Still Know What We All Did Last Summer, whatever that fucking movie's called, the new one.
It's called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Whatever. I finished it last night.
You willingly chose to finish it?
Wow.
I had to see.
Cool.
Yeah.
You had to see. Okay. Yeah. Even though you already know who the killer was.
Even though I wanted to see how it all played out. Just as bad as I thought.
Oh, yeah, cool. Dog?
But you guys didn't tell me there was a dream sequence with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Well, I didn't know that.
I didn't get to that part. Thanks for ruining it.
Well, the movie's been out.
What about the after credits with Brandy?
I didn't get to that.
There's an after, yeah.
Brandy the singer?
Well, because she's in the second one.
Oh, and from Cinderella? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And from The Boy's Mine? Okay.
And from Brandy and Monica? You just keep naming everything Brandy's ever done.
Oh, speaking of our Jason thing, do you mind if I show this picture that we drew a long time ago? To kind of, for those people who are watching visually, this is a crayon sketch of Jason by Jacob. And then Craig drew his own version of Jason. And then I drew Jason's mother saying, "Listen to your mother, Jason."
Oh.
I hope you can all see that.
I want to see Craig's.
We were at a restaurant when we did that.
Yeah.
What? I don't remember this at all.
I want to say it was at like a nice, like a Olive Garden or something, but
can't take us anywhere.
It was at a restaurant in New York. I want to say it was 2020 pre-COVID, first time in New York for a toy fair. I want to say it was then.
Yes,
but that
it's definitely old, but it's good.
But before we get into Frankenstein, anything else? We are going to be announcing this Ghostbusters Give Back event, the holiday streamathon presented by us, YHS Podcast. We teased it on social media. really cool reactions so far. We will have more details as soon as we can reveal them, but it should be like in the next week. But you should be able to kind of figure out what it is by the very long title. The Ghostbusters Give Back Holiday Streamathon presented by YHS Podcast. And that was the short version. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Super excited about it. But before we get into Frankenstein, Abby, anything else that you wanted to get off your chest?
I enjoyed Halloween, and as we're like moving into October and it's getting cooler, even though Craig says we're not going to be watching horror movies, I am glad that we snuck in what is considered to be a horror classic. And I am over the moon excited to talk about what we're about to talk about. And I'm just grateful for this podcast because it's a place where I can come and talk about the things I care about, and that's movies. And I told you this morning, Craig, I think it was like as I was watching Frankenstein for the second time, I was like, this is like a religion to me. The one thing I actually care about in this world is movies. And it's my reason for getting up and continuing is because I want to keep seeing really good movies. And the more good movies you watch, the more that you put in, the more that you get out, like the better your content is. And I feel good about it.
Cut to Craig making you watch Zero Dark 30 tonight.
I know, what the actual fuck? I'm not doing that. Dude, I'm watching The Shape of Water. I got to see that egg timer. I have to.
No, dude, we're
yearning. Yeah.
The only egg timer is going to be 2 minutes till Osama is done.
Jesus Christ.
On Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
I saw Zero Dark 30 by myself at a theater in Atlanta.
That's so sad.
I realizing a lot of the things I say are sad.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking before we move on to Frankenstein, talking about Shape of Water, I put it on before bed a couple nights ago. Whatever night I went and saw Frankenstein. Put it on, fell asleep watching it. The next day, put it on where I left off. And I'm watching it, and Jess walks in the room, and I'm like, "Hey, you've seen this, right?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, cool, sit down. She made her sit down right then and just started it from the beginning.
Turn the egg timer back.
This is The Shape of Water. And we just watched it.
That's awesome, dude.
I love that movie.
I saw Michael Shannon's band is coming to Athens. If you guys want to go.
I would go to that. He's a fucking weirdo. He's awesome.
Well, speaking of weirdo, we got to figure out this Crispin Glover thing too.
Let's go. Can we do them both back to back?
The tickets for Crispin Glover are only $25.
Dude, I'll buy him tonight.
I'll buy him right now.
Well, let's know what we're doing.
Listen, let's get into this. This is a movie we reacted to the trailer to a couple months ago when they first dropped it. I think it's probably safe to say that all of Guillermo del Toro's movies are passion projects, but this is one that he has specifically wanted to do and has talked about in some capacity for a very long time. I cannot wait to hear what you guys thought. I cannot wait to get into this. And Jacob, let me start with you. I know you actually went to the theater because it does have limited theater engagement.
And because I'm a real movie fan. So
okay, calm down. Okay. Hey, that Netflix bill, I need to, when that $25 charge happens, I need to be thinking about something more than House Full of Explosives or whatever the fucking thing is called. I need some Frankenstein.
All right.
Dynamite, that's what it's called. So let's just roundtable it. Jacob, initial thoughts. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yeah, I mean, my initial thoughts were that I really liked it. It was weird because there's been some mixed reviews, and I try not to read any reviews before I see a movie. But I did see some bad reviews for this. I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, he's missed the point of the book," and this is the rare. Like I was really upset with The Long Walk because they changed the ending of the book.
Not more upset than our listeners are for you being upset. We still get comments every day on that video. I can't believe this ending was way better. You don't know nothing. Yeah,
I'm getting so annoyed. I haven't read any of those comments. I'm right and you're wrong. And but something like Frankenstein, I don't care as much about it being because there's like there's like so many adaptations of Frankenstein. There's just been a ton. So at this point, it's like, to me, it's the same with like with something like Godzilla, I always say, like, do your own thing. There's been so many versions of it. Like, I don't care anymore if it doesn't completely make me feel like the original. So
It's public domain. Yeah.
yeah, and the fact that Guillermo del Toro has been like, thinking really hard about this for a lot, a long time, and a lot of his career, and he made choices that are different, but to me it's still very much feels like one of the more accurate to the book adaptations of Frankenstein than we've had. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. Like, I love everything Guillermo del Toro makes, and I just want to like hang out with him. He seems like such a kind, cool dude, and this movie it's very similar to Shape of Water. It is it gives me the same feelings that movie does. The monster is like crying and shit, and you just want to hug it and like be there for the characters. And it felt, everything about it felt really, and then it's like, it's beautiful and everything looks really cool and everything's nice to look at. And it's just like, it's almost like 2.5 hours of playing kind of like a Where's Waldo, where you just want to see everything and you want to pause every single, I just want to look at stuff. I want to see the architecture and the costumes, and just everything's awesome.
Hell yeah. I have to say that I did, on my second watch today, Jacob, I did the pause, like, as I went through, and wrote down like very viciously and fastidiously a bunch of the quotes from the movie, because I think so much of the dialogue is lifted from the book, which I have here with me just for like posterity. But yeah, I felt like so many scenes in the movie were, when I first watched it, absolutely breathtaking and dazzling. Speaking and saying the color palette is amazing. It's like, I went and watched, there's like a breakdown, like behind the scenes thing that's on Netflix that is called, let me look here. I have so many, Frankenstein, the anatomy lesson. And that really breaks down,
Everything.
like how the sausage is made, how it's like how the color palette was chosen, how the costumes were chosen, the way that Guillermo del Toro kind of has his like how he makes things happen, and like what level he cares about things and why it is so good. So for me, as somebody who, like, has already said, I love good movies, coming out of seeing this movie, it felt like I had gone into a restaurant and like the chef there knew me really well and made something very specific for me, like with me in mind in some way, which I know that Guillermo del Toro did not make this movie for me, but I will say that
he did.
I felt like it, because like you were saying, Jacob, it gave me notes of The Shape of Water, which The Shape of Water is like The Little Mermaid, but perfected, or like corrective. It's a corrective storytelling, like of what was kind of like a hard story that had the mermaid being in pain in the ending. And with this, the fact that the monster himself is the victor, speaking of Victor, and has like retribution and like not a little bit of revenge, but then forgiveness. I don't care if I spoil shit, but that
we're gonna get into major
that was Del
spoilers.
Toro's touch to the movie, and I loved it.
I have not seen all of Guillermo del Toro's movies. In fact, I probably haven't seen majority of them, which is my bad, because when I do watch them, I think a lot is made about his, visual palette and his, the kind of characters he wants to write and the kind of stories he wants to tell. Even more so than like Shape of Water, can you be attracted to a movie? Just in general, like I was visually attracted to what I was seeing on screen. I heard a couple analysts critiquing the color palette, saying it was really washed out, and I was like, I didn't get that at all. In fact, the set pieces, the laboratory set, there's like two really major. Well, there's a lot of different great scenes and set pieces, but the ship we'll talk about, but that laboratory set, the contrast of the greens and the reds, and like also like I've seen various adaptations of Frankenstein. Obviously I've seen the original, I've seen the Robert De Niro, and almost like Nosferatu. You know, when you watch Nosferatu for the first time, like you kind of know the standard beats of the story. But what he did with this movie, first of all, the cast is really great. Oscar, this is where Abby, I was laughing. I was like, it kind of does feel like it was made
That's
for
why I
you.
said it felt like I was walking into a restaurant where the chef knew I was coming and was like, hey, let's make this for her. Let's make this delightful looking cake that's full of disgusting bloody raw meat, which is kind of the comparison that I was giving to this movie, because it's got absolutely like beautiful like flourishes of the beautiful scenery, landscapes, and costumes. But then the brutal truth and tragedy, the romantic tragedy, like the emotional tragedy that's taking place, is like the heart of the movie. And that's the heart of the book that I have always felt was missing from other Frankenstein adaptations. So I felt like this had a fully beating heart that I could relate to, this version of Frankenstein. And while you're saying, can you be attracted to a movie? I absolutely think you can. I think that the cast and the style and the level of detail and attention that went into each component of the film, I think that yields it to be like a very, very hot movie, very attractive. It's the grotesque and the divine like next to each other the whole time, which I love.
Have you seen the post? There's some really great posters for the movie, all ruined by giant Netflix logos in the middle of them. But
yeah,
Oscar Isaac, you know, really good. Like I don't think I had much of a strong opinion on him one way or the other going into this movie. I mean, I really like Poe Dameron in one of the 3 Star Wars movies, and was not as big on like Moon Knight, and but he's obviously a great actor. So he plays Victor Frankenstein here.
Yeah, he's great. I love that your only frame of reference for him is like Star Wars and Marvel. He's been in lots of really great stuff.
Well, what are they? Well, I mean, I'm just not thinking.
Ex Machina. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Annihilation.
That's like,
oh yeah, Annihilation. That's a good one.
He's also in Inside Llewyn Davis, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But to piggyback off of your Star Wars feelings, there were a couple of things, that the way that Frankenstein is portrayed as the monster versus as he grows in intelligence and in emotional intelligence. It's like an Anakin to Darth type of switch. I didn't feel like they were the same. I felt a distinction as the movie progressed.
I'm pretty sure George Lucas has said that Frankenstein was a pretty big inspiration for.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to know what George Lucas, what his feelings are on this movie after watching the behind the scenes piece that I did. I was like, because it's reminiscent and evocative of watching old like prequels behind the scenes footage. Like the way that they're like trying to break ground and do brand new things, and like the level of intensity and severity that like is felt on set. It reminds me of the prequels behind the scenes stuff. So I would just be curious what George Lucas feels about this movie.
I want to know what he feels about a lot of things. I want to hang out with George Lucas.
I think he's probably threatened, is what I'm saying.
Rest of the cast, this will help color the conversation. We have the creature played by Jacob Elordi. He's from Euphoria. Mm-hmm. He's great in that, and he's such an asshole in that show. And what was that movie he did?
Oh, with the song
Saltburn.
Saltburn.
He was in Saltburn.
This is the first thing I've seen him in.
What'd you think?
I thought it was great. I thought I liked his voice. He's got a really nice voice. And he's what do they say? They say something about him in that documentary, Abby, where they say they're trying to describe his proportions, and the way the guy says it is like
he's like a panther.
Yeah, it's that.
He says he's like a panther.
It's that guy. He says he's kind of panther-like, but he says that his proportions are like long, I don't know, perfectly put together. It's just the way he's talking about how good he looks and how he's his body type, and he's really tall.
Yeah,
and he's like everything's in the right place.
Yeah. And I like the way that the costume like played off of it, and they were talking about that in the making of thing, which is what you and I are talking about, that it was kind of a jigsaw piece, and like that the idea behind that being that Victor Frankenstein had so many bodies and had such an abundance of like the men who had been killed from war, that he was like, he really like put it together and like tailored a beautiful human. And I thought
and about it making sense. Yeah, about like the wounds making sense, and it's not just a Frankenstein where there's a stitch through the face because they want to put a stitch through the face. Like there's a reason it's there.
Mm-hmm.
That scene where Victor's sawing up all the bodies and like there's flies everywhere. I was like, you know what? There would be flies. That's a good touch.
That's the part Craig liked. Craig really liked that there was flies.
I like that there were flies there. I thought so.
But don't ask Craig to watch The Fly because he's not going to do it.
It's disgusting. I would never do that.
Aw, we had it on.
Sick. It makes me sick.
Yeah, and Craig left the room because he couldn't watch it.
I was probably watching baseball. Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars, we all know that she will be one of the villains in the upcoming Star Wars. Supposedly, that's what they say.
I didn't know that.
She'll be in Starfighter. Yeah.
And
Mia
she's
Goth,
in all the Ty West movies.
Yeah.
Pearl and
Abby, what'd you think of her? And
what did I think of Mia Goth in Frankenstein? Wow. I felt like she was an angelic being that was made for this role, essentially, of Elizabeth. Excuse me. Her wardrobe being like all beetle colors and reminiscent of like peacock feathers. For me, that's just like a color scheme that I like and I'm drawn to. The fact that her character is like interested in bugs and learning and pays attention to the small details in nature and has that like ability to love and to be lovely and to make things feel loved. I thought that she was absolutely perfect for that role. It was the first time that I've really seen Mia Goth be like an empathetic. The character that she plays in the Ty West movies, Maxine, is like pretty much like a fucking badass, like ready to kill and take names and snort coke and be awesome. But seeing her in this movie as like a regal woman with like amazing hats, and she filled the role, and it was an intense and impending role is how it felt. So I thought she was absolutely breathtaking. Every costume, as I watched that documentary, the behind the scenes things, I realized that there was intention with her color scheme being green and blue and the little pops of red, and how much thought was put into like every costume change and the change of her hair. And those are the details that I feel really stood out in this movie. Like modern movie making, I feel like some of that stuff gets lost. But this was like, it felt like an olden time film, and she felt like an olden time actress that is like someone's actual muse, like Del Toro's muse, which I imagine she was.
This movie is getting a lot like I was reading a stat today that it's tons of people are watching it, obviously, because it's on Netflix, and people like Guillermo del Toro a lot. Every movie that debuts on Netflix that gets a little bit of promotion is basically seen by every human being. I have a feeling this is the first time a lot of people are going to get exposed to Mia Goth.
Sure.
And
I get that vibe too.
Yeah.
Hold on. The one of the things that I like about her, especially in this movie, is that Abby, you're right in everything you said, and the way you said she feels like an old timey. She feels like she's kind of out of those Hammer horror films, those old British horror movies, like with Christopher Lee and stuff. And she also, the fact that she like, I don't want to say she looks weird, because weird gets taken. I mean, like weird in a good way. She's like got a pretty striking look to her. And it almost reminds you of like, how like Tim Burton, when he first started using like Helena Bonham Carter in his movies or something, you would get, it's like you get a weird presence from her, and she like fits in those kind of movies. It's almost like Mia Goth is like that, but we're not annoyed with it, or you know what I mean? It's like, doesn't feel like a crutch for a director. She's just good, and she's got a very specific look to her. And watching her in the interviews, like she just has a very interesting like thought process towards the whole thing. It's just all very weird, and she just fits in.
The fact that
like when I'm there, I take my emotions that I'm already feeling and I put them into the character for that day, and it makes it feel like very organic, and she's very natural on screen.
The fact that her last name is Goth, and like that is like kind of a great way to like describe her in certain sense, and like that's not a chosen name, that's like her actual last name, is cool. And I think that like she has a presence of her. I think Helena Bonham Carter is a good comp there. Like it's there's something non-traditional, but extremely striking, and like she just has a presence to her. Like obviously perfect casting for
and also like in high school I tried to change my last name, and I tried to go by Jacob New Metal.
Jacob Elordi New Metal.
That's what I told
I was Abby Ska.
Abby Ska. I was Craig contemporary soft rock.
Craig, I love watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Dude, hold on. Can we just talk about the fact that when that joke throwaway sentence I said the first line of the podcast where I said I don't have to watch horror movies anymore, it's eating away at Jacob. He's like, I cannot fucking stand. I don't even like
this
that
motherfucker. Yeah, you guys want to fight?
I don't like. I know you.
Kind of humor. Hey, real quick.
Hey, don't joke like that, Craig.
Get through this cast.
Yeah,
there's a couple people that pop up that when you see them, you're just like, oh, we're good here. The audience is being taken care of. One of those people, Christoph Waltz. He's just great. Like there's no other way to put it. He's great. He's Christoph Waltz. You know what you're gonna get, and it's phenomenal. Yeah. Charles Dance. Speaking of Answer the Call.
I was about to say, I get a little bit of trauma from seeing him because of that.
Charles Dance, obviously, he played Victor's father, and he also played another famous abusive father, Tywin. Which one's which?
Tywin.
I'm not going to correct you on that. I don't know.
Tyrion was
Toxic Avenger.
Dinklage. Yeah,
there you go. Both really great, and then. Just kind of like going through the rest of the cast. I mean, you really there's Matt. What's his name? Mads Mikkelsen. Is that his name? Lars Mikkelsen.
The brother.
Thrawn. Speaking of Star Wars, again, playing the captain. Who is the actor who played the blind man? David Bradley.
Oh, also from Game of Thrones.
Oh, from Game of Thrones.
He's in the Harry Potter series. If you see him without his like old man makeup, he's you would recognize. He
played Argus Filch in the Harry Potter movies.
Okay, Filch.
And he was also Father Giannetti in Exorcist: The Beginning, which are reviews in the archives. My favorite sequence, and I'll let you guys spin on this a little bit. My favorite sequence in this movie was when the creature's story began, and he finds the barn and hides out and ends up forging this relationship with the family, even though he's the spirit of the forest, and then befriending the blind man. It was like, to me, like I was like, this is my Lord of the Rings. Like, I love this. Like, just because
that's the best part of the book.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
It was classic Frankenstein.
I just thought it was really well executed. It was beautiful. It was heartwarming and sad. And like, that when he breaks the brandy glass and he's like, oh fuck, I am so fucked right now. And the guy's just like, who cares? I didn't even know I had any brandy. No, he doesn't say that. It's really a beautiful sequence. And it's kind of, Abby, I think the thing you were talking about earlier about just loving a movie and the feeling it gives you as you experience it for the first time. That's when I was really experiencing it in this film.
Well, that's when the Frankenstein's monster was experiencing love and connection for the first time. He'd never been given that as a creation of Victor's. Victor was ashamed of him, and he hid him in the basement and didn't know how to treat him other than to take his rage out on him. So he is a victim of abuse. And so when he has that moment of, cause the old man's like, there's some brandy and some bread, help help yourself. And by the way, that old man is such a vibe. I love him. He's like, the meme where it's like, when it's like your friends are like ready to go somewhere and you're all wrapped up like the little Victorian doll who's not going anywhere. Like that's how the old man is. I like him a lot. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking go do anything with this. I'm staying here. But he ends up being like the most empathetic, and what I say almost likable character in the movie. I think the bond that he has with Frankenstein's monster it's from the book, the learning to speak the language and learning like what humanity is and like what politics and war and famine and like why capitalism and things like that, like how they exist, like Frankenstein understanding that as his like brain is growing. That's the stuff that I love about the book, because it's Mary Shelley speaking about those subjects and like it not necessarily being over the head, knocking you over with like morals or being preachy, but just like this is the way that it is. And life is going to come for you, much like the wolves are going to come for the old man. And that is natural selection and evolution and the cruelty of humanity. And I thought that shit was so well done. Not to mention, shout out to all the little mice who are probably CGI, who were running all over Frankenstein in that little like barn area, because that was so sweet and so cute. It reminded me of Spirited Away with the little fuzzy
dude, they're gonna be
guys.
They're gonna be up for best ensemble at the SAG Awards for sure.
The mice.
I love groups of mice in movies. It's the truth. Like.
Hey, that's also the first time Frankenstein learns, or the creature learns about like death, and that's where when he comes, it's also when he figures out he can't die. There's like the scene where he gets shot when he's leaving the house, and he dies. He like dies, and one of my favorite lines in the movie is right here. And he says something like, and then there was silence, and then again, merciless life, because he can't die. He comes back. Yeah, I love that line. Yeah, there you go. That line's awesome. And then that's when he's like, oh, okay, this is what I'm cursed with.
Props to Del Toro for taking on a movie. Like, he's been quoted as saying that he felt he can make like the best Frankenstein movie ever, but he was almost like scared to do it, because like once you do it, it's done. You've done you've caught your white whale or whatever. And the piece I saw in the documentary, again, I have not watched it, but I saw a few minutes of it, when he was talking about how different the movie is if now versus what he would have made previously in his life, because he not only is talking about his own relationship with his father, but he now has this relationship with his children. I don't know, like the movie is, if I was describing this movie to somebody who hasn't seen it, I would say it's like haunting, it's beautiful, it's cathartic. I would, and brutal at times, but it doesn't feel like, it feels almost like a hopeful movie in some sense.
Yeah. It is because it is for sure, because it's the book, the end of the book is the creature saying like, okay, well, I'm going to go set myself on fire and see if I die. That's basically how the book ends.
Right.
But the movie is forgiveness and, moving past the awful things. And then that last shot is the creature being like, cool. Well, here's the sun. He's crying. He's in the sun, and he's like, "That's done. Now I can live a life." So it's. I mean, he purposefully made this, gave it a little bit of a hopeful ending.
Yeah, the line that Victor Frankenstein says to forgive yourself into existence. I found that to be very poignant. Reconciliation between the monster and the creator. That was something that you don't see, or that you don't get from the book or from other versions of this. So that's they
made it so woke.
I loved it.
God, I'm so sick of forgiveness.
Healing and catharsis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I thought I love the trend of having like hot dudes playing monsters. And when I think of that, I think of like Pennywise.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. I really loved Jacob Elordi's performance. I think he is going to win some stuff. I hope he does. I hope that Del Toro's nominated and win some stuff for this as well.
Dude, you could feel, I'm not even going to call out the podcast, but like I was listening to a movie podcast I like, and you could feel like it's almost like the pretentious film critics of today are ready to like turn on Guillermo del Toro and be like, you know what? Actually, script's not that good.
I wonder why though.
Script is lifted from the book. You're saying Mary Shelley's not good then.
Take it up with Mary Shelley. Or my favorite trailer from the 90s in a movie I've never seen, Mary Riley, which is the Jekyll and Hyde movie. Having said that, I don't know, Jacob, but I've noticed some of that. Like it's this thing that happens when somebody's on a pedestal for a certain amount of time. And
yeah, but I feel like Guillermo del Toro, even though a lot of his movies are well received, he feels almost like a black sheep type, like doesn't get the amount of praise he deserves. He's kind of in the background doing his own thing, making his own movies the way he wants to make them. And you know, it's not as if he's out here getting talked about all the time. And I think all that is kind of unfair because he's made some of the best. I was like, after watching, I mean, I've been a fan of his for a long time, but after watching Frankenstein, I was going back and I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, Guillermo del Toro is like, it's just like Quentin Tarantino to me. He's one of those directors where anytime he's got a movie coming out, especially, you know, in his last, you know, 4 or 5 movies that he's done, he's the kind of director to me where it's like, this is going to be unique, and I know it's going to look a certain way, and I'm excited. And I feel like Guillermo is one of those people that you have. It's like I feel like I feel like I know him. You know what I mean? I feel like I have a kinship with Guillermo del Toro because when anything, this movie and Shape of everything that happens in those movies, I'm like, oh, these are not that I'm not a filmmaker or anything, but I'm like, everything he's saying and every decision he's making is what I would want it to be. You know what I mean? It feels like
I have a theory before I go to Abby.
Movie. Okay.
Before I go to Abby on this, I have a theory that subconsciously, if you recall, so 2018, Shape of Water won Best Picture at the Oscars, and he won Best Director. That was pretty controversial at the time.
You think people are mad now because he won? What did he beat out in 2018?
You know what? I'm so glad you asked. Here are the nominees for Best Picture 2018: Shape of Water, Call Me by Your Name.
Oh, that's why people are mad, because that fucking thing didn't win anything.
There's 3 on here why people are actually mad, probably.
Okay.
Darkest Hour. Here's the ones that I think from like a filmmaking, you know, community where you could see why there's a little bit of like, well, I don't think the fish fucking movie should have won. Okay. Dunkirk, which is maybe my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
I haven't seen Dunkirk, but I have seen a lot of people talk shit on Dunkirk.
You will not like it.
Not in the movie theater.
If you don't like Zero Dark 30, Get Out.
Isn't Chris Pratt in one of these?
See, Chris Pratt's in Zero Dark 30.
Right.
Get Out, which, if you recall, was you know, a huge
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele.
I mean, that's a good movie, but that's not even Jordan Peele's best movie. He's only made 3.
Lady Bird, which I've never seen, but I know is a loved movie.
I've heard Lady Bird is great. I that's one that I want to see. I hear it's good.
Phantom Thread, it's your boy.
That's my boy.
That's your guy, dude.
That's my guy right there.
Double Tree Lewis.
Double D Lewis.
Give me them cookies. And then The Post, and then 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. That's
great. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen
that movie is so good.
So there's a lot of great movies here, and I just have a feeling people for a movie, there's anytime a genre movie is you know, like a sci-fi or a fantasy or something that's not like your atypical Oscar type movie wins an award. I think sometimes there's a little bit like, well, Phantom Thread though, you know, like kind of like I don't know. But Abby, sorry to derail. But I thought that was interesting when it comes to Guillermo del Toro, like what, where's some of the critical like over analysis. I've seen some people say like they thought the script, some of the dialogue was like a little on the nose and stuff like that, but I don't know. I thought it was really great. But Abby, what else?
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. What was the question?
You know what? That is the question from like a philosophical.
Yeah, I don't know if there was an actual question.
Okay, I remember what thread I was on. I was going to say that I don't believe that fantasy and horror get the respect that they deserve from like the Academy or from your average movie critic. I think that fantasy and horror tend to be like kind of the underdog or looked down on. And that's why it's a medium that can have a lot of creativity, like and exciting storytelling in it, because it's almost like not as paid attention to. So I would say that, yeah, maybe critics don't want to see fairy tales because it's like, oh, they've been around forever. We want new original stories. But retelling the oldest stories in a new way is something that I find to be beautiful. And I think that Del Toro is brilliant for doing such. And I would have to disagree with anyone about the dialogue being stilted or like too on the nose. Like, here's my feeling. I think that this movie is beautiful and emo as fuck. And it almost has like elements of like, it's destined to be in a Hot Topic, like, and the things will be sold inside of a Hot Topic. And that's where it's going to, like, the money's going to come from that.
This is where the final destination for this movie.
And what?
The final destination for this movie is Hot Topic.
Yes, and if you can lean into that and radically accept the fact that there's elements of that, and that Frankenstein, the tragic romance, the monster versus humanity, like that's a classic underdog, like the type of person who would go to Hot Topic, like that's their kind of story. So it kind of all fits in and dovetails, I'd say. So yeah, if anyone's complaining,
I've just imagined like the dad dropping off his like suburban kid who hates him at the mall, and he's like, "You better not buy any of that new Frankenstein stuff while you're in there." And he's like, "Fuck you, Dad! I am the creature."
Yeah. And I think that Del Toro fits in with that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I find it weird that people would give him any kind of trouble or whatever. Yeah, guff or whatever. Because I mean, I would think that it would be hard to take on an adaptation of Frankenstein that especially when you're a director, that you're a bigger director and you got eyes on you and a lot of people are going to see, you know what I mean? Like he's a well-established director and he's going to make an adaptation of something that is insanely popular and maybe one of the most popular books of all time, and there's been, I don't know, probably I bet there's 200 adaptations of Frankenstein that exist. So like it's nothing but an uphill battle doing that. It must be stressful to think about that when making your movie. So the fact that he did it and he made his own version, it makes me really happy that like we're getting movies like this in Nosferatu in the same, a year apart from each other, and just like new versions of things we love. Don't take away from other versions, or they're not that they're trying to replace anything, but they're just different and new, and that's a good thing in my book.
Well, my favorite genre of film is any movie that has a 1800s London setting with a teacher in a circular building auditorium doing something crazy on the floor, and everybody's like, ooh, and then there's one guy like, I'm going to be talking to him afterwards. Like anytime I see that scenario play out, I'm good, because that it made me want to watch From Hell. Abby, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, the Jack the Ripper movie with Johnny Depp. Very good. But anyways, Jacob,
is that a good movie? I seen it once and I didn't like it, but it was so long ago that I couldn't properly. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I got super into Jack the Ripper once, so
okay.
I would ask people, I'll be like, so who you think think they'll ever figure it out?
Do you
They're
think
like,
they'll figure? Do you think
the
they'll
guy's
find
like,
him?
sir, I don't know. Anyways, did you want cheese on your Whopper? So Abby, in the behind the scenes documentary, I know that they talked extensively about the use of practical effects and building out sets. You said something about James Cameron or George Lucas earlier. And similar to James Cameron, though, those are filmmakers that were always trying to and still push the boundaries of technology. And Guillermo del Toro, like, they didn't have to build a whole ship for this movie, but they did. And I think, like, I don't know if the average viewer knows it, but like subconsciously, like, that set piece is incredible. And all of those scenes, that whole prelude is just fantastic.
Yeah, I think that you can absolutely feel it. They built that the boat like out on a parking lot, like in a large space, and then they built a thing like underneath it called a gimbal that like shakes the boat back and forth so that like it's all like really actually moving. And when I was watching that stuff, I was like, dude, I want the little the maquette or the model of the ship that they built in order to like create the actual ship, and the amount of maquettes and like sculptures and things that they created in order to like really narrow down and make sure that they fit like every detail and that Del Toro wanted. I found it really interesting that Guillermo del Toro's office was in the art department area, which means he was like looking at stuff constantly. And you can see that. And my feelings on that were like, wow, that must be a little bit stressful on set, but also it keeps things going. Like if you're a chef working in a restaurant, being in touch with like all of your employees and knowing what they're working on, like that's what, and Guillermo del Toro used a lot of different like food references. He was talking about how it's like a meal that's being prepared by a lot of different people who work on their ingredients and the preparation. And I learned so much from that. That behind the scenes documentary. I was taking notes. I felt like I was in like a class or something. I think that Guillermo del Toro is absolutely brilliant. And I think that he's dedicated to making practical, real effects and like making your five senses like making you fully experience everything while you're watching on screen. And that takes you in. And I just love that. Like that's in every one of his movies. Pan's Labyrinth was the first movie of his that I saw. I saw that in the movie theater. And then I dragged my brother to come and see it again in the movie theater. And this movie like had that magical quality of like, there was one moment where they were talking about, where Del Toro was talking about having only one light source coming in to light the sets and how that makes it look like a period piece instead of having a bunch of different like angles and different light bulbs that are making things look shadowy. To have it look like, oh, this is how it would have been back then when there isn't electric lighting. I found that interesting and beautiful. A lot of the angles that were used in the movie were taken from low to the ground so that you could see the stained glass in the cathedral and so that you could see more scope. And as a short person, I liked that because I like to take pictures from like way down and kind of like angle up. So
it's also
I thought that was cool.
It also helps make the creature look bigger,
larger. Yeah. It's force perspective.
Guillermo del Toro has been very, very open about hating AI. He hates it, and he's been. You can look it up. He's said I believe there's a quote somewhere where he's like, I'd rather die than make a movie with AI or something.
There's
like
another
that.
quote where he goes, I've seen some demos and if you're looking into making some interesting screensavers, I guess use AI.
Well, that's part of the thing. If you watch the documentary, they'll show you how much of this movie is practical, even when you're watching the movie and it doesn't look practical. Now it's not that there's no like CGI in the movie. Of course there is when there needs to be. But like they built that entire boat and that is not even something that needed to be done. He does that kind of thing because that's part of it. Like that's part of the fun. That's part of the love is making everything happen and putting it in camera. And they did miniature sets. The tower blew up was a practical set and everything. Like they built everything. And it's like what's the if you're gonna be the kind of filmmaker who just puts everything on the fucking the sphere or the void or whatever the fuck they call that dumb thing, or
Yeah.
what's it called, Greg?
The void, but the sphere.
We've been to
what's
the
the
void,
point?
but we've never been to the sphere.
It's just like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like that's part of it. And like, if that's the fun of making a movie, is figuring out how to make a fish person and make, Frankenstein's monster and do all this crazy
like that,
shit.
It's like that Stephen King quote, "Sphere is the mind killer."
Fear is the mind killer is not a Stephen King quote. That's from Dune.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome to Derry. But I will say this, on the topic of AI and CGI, I think that any filmmaker worth his salt as a filmmaker is not going to. Yes, AI is for different versions of productivity. It exists, but it can't be the solution, and here's why.
Well, I don't think it will be.
But from a CGI, even if something is CGI, like even if something's computer generated, there are still hundreds of people working and animating and if something's not made, like the thing that, going back to what Abby said earlier, like the why you fall in love with a movie, part of it on a subconscious level or very much on the surface, is that other human beings came together to make this. They put their time, blood, sweat, and tears. Doesn't always work out, but you can appreciate as a filmmaker that somebody drew it, somebody built it, somebody thought, like, so I was having this conversation with somebody recently about all the AI videos and Sora app and all that stuff. And like, yeah, AI, the extent of being impressed by an AI video is you can go, oh, that's funny. Oh, it's funny to see Tupac on Mr. Rogers, but it's never going to be impressive because it didn't really happen. So when you see somebody do a high dive in the Olympics and do like a triple backflip and it's real, as a human being, you could go, that's impressive. I can barely walk a fucking straight line without tripping over my feet.
Yep.
But if you see an elephant do a double backflip on AI, you go, well, that's kind of funny, but it's not impressive. And if it doesn't fail to impress you, Jurassic Park, the first time you see the brachiosaurs, it captures your wonder and your imagination. We're going to be able to tell, hopefully. If it gets to the point where we can't tell, then I think you're going to see a lot of filmmakers literally going more even towards like the Guillermo del Toro, style of filmmaking. Abby, any thoughts?
What you're saying is AI it's like a novelty versus like a well-made, to use the food analogy again, like a well-made dish where someone sourced the ingredients and picked them and harvested them and cleaned them and chopped them and took their time with them. Those are real ingredients versus artificial flavors, which is what AI is, in my opinion, where you're just bringing in like some shit that doesn't exist and doesn't taste real, like strawberry lemonade, like cookies or something like that. Like it's neat that you did that, but it's not a real thing. Strawberry lemonade cookies now sound like really good, and I think I should probably catch it on that.
But I don't even think human beings, like, just a little tangent, and then we'll get right back into it. They announced Gremlins 3 this week. And our first conversations were like, ugh, like the whole thing that's cool about Gremlins is all the puppetry and all the practical effects. And you can just imagine there's going to be like thousands of CGI Gremlins. But we posted that clip of our 2-year-old interview with McKenna Grace, where she joked about Phoebe being in a Gremlins movie. It's clearly a joke. It's all in jest. It has over 100,000 views on social media. And a lot of people think it's real. And even a couple people have said in the comments, is this AI? I'm like, if you clearly these are real people talking, like I don't even I think people AI, the word AI is now becoming a substitute for, am I being tricked on the internet?
Yeah.
Like my parents do it. Everything's AI now. I got a phone call from a spam bot, AI. I'm like, no, that's not, you're not even using the terminology right. But anyways, Abby, I couldn't agree more. I think that when you take away the human touch and you take away all the people preparing the dish, it's why on the Jetsons, when you push the button and Rosie just gives you a whole meal, it's never going to be as good as a is a whole kitchen.
Yeah, you can
preparing a
taste
meal
the
for you.
artificial stuff.
You
Like
can taste artificial
like using
rosy.
CO2 and like foam in your dishes, like old Top Chef tricks like that, where it's like, yeah, okay, but did I really want like a celery pudding mousse or whatever? Like maybe just taking the ingredients raw and like just making them taste good. I feel like I'm going back to Anthony Bourdain
Yeah,
like
fuck yeah.
comparisons at this point, but that is what it is. And like that's the reality of like a movie that I loved this movie and I feel like it appeals to a lot of people. I think that younger generations, like kids and teenagers, I think they're going to like it. And it makes sense that they would because you've got Elordi and Goth being like awesome and romantic and tragic. So I can see a lot of people enjoying this because it has sustenance, it has protein, it has all the components that Del Toro put into it, and not a bunch of strawberry lemonade frosting all over it.
Cookies.
Yeah.
Did you guys know? One thing I noticed, and I haven't looked this up, and I don't know if they talked about it in the behind the scenes thing, but there was like a lot of like circles. There's a lot of like,
Yeah, they do talk
spiral
about
staircases. They do.
Well, yeah, it's nothing more than Guillermo del Toro says in the documentary. Oh, I decided I wanted a lot of circle imagery in this.
Well, you can connect it like, the circle of life. I don't know, circle of trust. I don't know, but I love, dude, spiral staircase.
A lot of circles, a lot of head injuries too. I made a note of that.
A lot of head energy.
Get their heads smacked up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what else? I mean, I think this is a movie that I will want to revisit a lot. I completely
I've
agree.
already watched it twice, like it's been out for a week.
Totally agree that this like back to back with Nosferatu would be really fun because they're very different.
I already plan on watching that. Yeah.
Very
Again,
different types of movies.
they're different, but they're extremely similar in that like the monster is relatable and like lovable. And in this movie, the monster becomes the hero in the end, which that's why I like am touting and excited about this movie because I think that's a really original, interesting take on things. To take the monster who has suffered and at the hands of humanity and at the hands of their father, like to go through a progression like Elordi does, and then to come back and sort of forgive. And then his final gesture is to push the boat out of the frozen water and save the sailors. It's like that goodwill, that kindness that was afforded him just grows into something even bigger. And that's a beautiful way to end the movie, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of the creature design? Because I know that's always a big point of talking points with these types of movies.
I was really, for a long time, I was really interested in what they were going to do, and I was really intrigued. And I wondered, and it was one of those things that I thought a lot about, like, oh, I wonder what he's going to look like. Like that's all I'm interested in right now is I want to see, because Guillermo del Toro is, every one of his creature designs is really cool. So I didn't have a doubt. But I was like wondering, my imagination was kind of all over the place with wondering what it was going to look like. And then in the end, it's just Jacob Elordi with scars. And it's sort of toned down a little bit as opposed to like what you would imagine or what other Frankensteins have done. But that's 100% the right choice to make. Like it doesn't need to be some big, like grotesque, awful. It's just a dead body. That's what Frankenstein's monster is. It's just a dead body sewn together. And he also, there's also a lot of influence, and he even he even put this in the credits of the movie, is he was highly influenced by the Marvel Frankenstein adaptation that was drawn by what's his name? The guy who the guy who did the art for Cycle of the Werewolf.
Bernie
Wrightson. Yeah, Bernie Wrightson did a adaptation of Frankenstein, and they are some of the most beautiful drawings you'll ever see in your life. And I've seen some side by side shots from his book and this movie. Guillermo del Toro took a lot of visual inspiration from that. And And you can tell it just looks. I think the monsters. It's great. It's what it needs to be. It's more in the performance. You know. It's I dig it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I completely agree. I was when I was watching like the makeup process and while Jacob Elordi's like sitting in the chair and getting all the pieces put on him, kind of looks like Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit. I know we were talking about that in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a little corpse bride in there, and there's definitely some orc feelings. But yeah, like watching his transformation of like in his patience as he gets all the stuff prosthetics put on him, and then how he's like nearly naked for a lot of the not a lot of, but like good portions of the movie, and that's super vulnerable, but he like plays it to where you feel for the monster and you have empathy for the monster. And then he becomes no longer a monster, but a lovable creature that is deserving of decency in life. And I think it's great.
Yeah, I really thought hard because I want to be objective about these movies. I don't really have any nitpicks. The only thing I could come up with was the opening scene where he's kind of throwing dudes around is a little. I was like, oh, I just wasn't expecting that. Didn't mind it.
You didn't expect what?
Like it almost had like a.
What do you mean the opening? Like what?
When he first started,
when he's fighting the guys on the boat,
when he's fighting the soldiers coming up to the boat, he like throws one guy really far. And it was a little like modern Marvel-y, and I was surprised because I was expecting something just more brutal and brute. Sure. It's not even a nitpick, more of an observation. But yeah. Jacob, did you have any nits to pick on this one?
No, I could have done with more of the character of Elizabeth. She kind of gets introduced and then is sort of taken out for a big part, and then she's dead. And but other than that, no. It's just the whole movie's good to look at and to listen to and to feel, and those are the things that I like to do, and it all makes me feel good. So that's all I care about. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing here that I know that there are people who don't like that. In the book, the creature kills Elizabeth, and he's very like the creature is not a good guy in the book. He is very much like, hey, dude, I'm about to kill your wife. And does it, on their wedding night. And I know some people don't like that change, but like, I don't mind that. You know what I mean? I don't care about the changes in this. I want to sympathize with the creature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really have any nitpicks for this. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I don't have any reasons that it couldn't be. Yeah.
Okay. You just don't. You might upgrade it, but it's you want to.
Yeah, I might
live with it a little. Live with it a little.
I just saw it. Just came out. Just high on it right now.
Abigail, anything else that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I'd give this 2 thumbs up, 4 stars. Actually, I'd give this as many thumbs as the soldiers' bodies that Victor Frankenstein found and mutilated in that film. And I really loved it and I enjoyed it. And I understand that I have like a bleeding emo heart. I love like bombastic like writing and like emo songs and music. So Frankenstein fits into this. And I was mentioning Hot Topic, and like there's like that My Chemical Romance feeling of like that. I don't know, something about like
My Chemical Romance. That's
underdog.
My nitpick. It doesn't have a My Chem song.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of agree with your nitpick though, Jacob, about Mia Goth, Elizabeth. I would have liked to have seen more of her. However, I was very deeply satisfied by the tragic ending to like when it's because it's like Romeo and Juliet. It's like they're in a cave and she passes away while she's like, I am happy that you're gazing upon me. And that is like, ugh. And that's like candy to me. I love that kind of writing. It's like Shakespeare, like just the really like super intense emotions, love and death and It's awesome.
I'm imagining an emo show. And there's like a mosh pit, and like he's like in the middle, just towering over everybody. He's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'd
like to teach you how to mosh.
I just like I have a bias towards these kind of stories, monster movies, Guillermo del Toro, and most of these actors. So it's like,
yeah,
I just don't have much bad to say about this kind of thing.
Yeah, all really, really good. Fun watch. Crazy they didn't release this before Halloween.
Yeah, thought that was a little weird.
You know,
I guess it came out. I guess some places there was a very, very limited theater. I was surprised my theater even got it after Halloween.
Yeah.
I think it might still be playing at the Plaza because I saw that they extended it for a week. So if I can get in to see it in a movie theater, I absolutely want to.
Well, I saw listener Lawrence Dwayne has a picture with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he saw it with Guillermo del Toro today, I think.
At where?
In LA.
LA. Okay. I could have gone.
I mean, we don't have to get into it. I've said it a million times. I think you should see every movie in the theater if you can.
Yeah, I know.
This movie specifically, like the way it looks is, it looked good on that big screen.
A couple things I wanted to touch on this really quickly because it's in the realm of the things we're talking about. It was announced maybe in the last week that Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are coming back for a new Mummy movie officially. And Lee Cronin, who directed Evil Dead Rise, he's been working on his own Mummy movie that comes out next year, which I've read 2 things about. Has been renamed The Resurrected and has had, according to rumor, awful test screenings so far. So I don't know if the next iteration of the Mummy is going to like live up to where we are with like Nosferatu and Frankenstein, but I like the idea of putting together this like new modern version of the Monster Squad with these like auteur directed, like, like give us like it's not even like elevated. Just the more artistic. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if anyone saw the new Wolfman, so
I hear it's awful.
He's got nards.
Looks pretty bad.
That's why they didn't give him nards this time. So to set the table for the rest of the month, we have a lot going on. We're going to be out at Designer Con. If you're going to be there, stop by, say hello, come to the Toku Toy Town booth, say hi to Jacob and Jay. Abby and I will be running around. Might have some Cryptoids stuff coming up very soon. We'll talk about that. We've got the Ghostbusters event we teased at the beginning. Kill Bill, the 4-hour uncut.
The trailer's out.
December 5th in theaters everywhere. I know we're
Hey, you know what's really funny is
repeat that. I'm not aware of this.
Kill Bill, for years, Quentin Tarantino edited together both Kill Bills into one movie, and he shows it from time to time out in California. But it's getting a full release in the theater.
Oh, okay.
Starting December the 5th, you can go. It's got a 15-minute intermission because it's both.
Okay.
It's like 3.5 hours long, probably. So, and it's got footage that was cut out of both movies. He put stuff back in, so it's got never before seen stuff and
I haven't seen those movies in so long.
Yeah, those are not my most watched Tarantinos, so I want to go to that event. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots going on. Jacob, are you excited about Designer Con?
Yeah, I'm excited to go out to Designer Con. It's very, very fun. Had a lot of fun last year. I'm flying out a couple days before you guys because I'm going to fly to Texas and then drive out with Jay Key and the Toku Toy Town inventory. Excited about that. Me and Jay have a secret project we'll be hearing about soon. Yeah, dude, we're busy. We're busy people.
Yeah, I was working on the Cryptoids website all day, some promotional stuff. And we haven't really talked about Cryptoids much on YHS proper. But I have a feeling like in the next 2 weeks, we are going to be getting into it pretty deep. So if you want to learn more, go to cryptoidswar.com, CRYPTOIDSWAR.com. and sign up and be the first to know about what we're doing. Abigail, any other final thoughts here on Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, any of the subjects that we covered this evening?
Well, I think that the Frankenstein from Universal Studios in Osaka, Japan, should be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for his performance.
I agree.
Rob Thomas is Smooth.
What's the name of that song?
Smooth.
Smooth of Smooth.
Give me your heart, make it. They should change the name. They should change the words to be more Frankenstein centric.
Yeah. So I thought that was my favorite Frankenstein, but now Jacob Elordi is my favorite Frankenstein. And I love it, and I'm grateful. And I'm a stan or a sucker or whatever you want to call me for Del Toro, much like you, Jacob. So I think he understands the like misunderstood, the bullied, the picked on, what the type of person that's considered to be like a monster on the outskirts, and he identifies with that. And in all of his movies, he like takes characters who are on the outskirts and like lifts them up and makes them go through growth processes and change. And it's really, really inspiring to me. And like I said, The Shape of Water was my favorite movie of the year when it came out. I texted my brother today that this is my number one movie of the year, that 2 is Weapons, and that number 3 is Sinners. So that's where I'm sitting right now. We'll see if I shift it up by our year-end review, because I love when we talk about.
Are we going to do that? We're going to do top 10 of the year or something like that?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. We'll do it in December.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Long December.
Cool. Hey, real quick, I want to show you. I got some physical media recently.
Ooh.
I got 3 things here.
Cool.
I'll show them off. I did pick up. I got this week. Got this movie called The White Buffalo with Charles Bronson. And this has Charles Bronson plays Wild Bill Hickok. And it also has God, I don't know his Will Sampson. He is the Native American fellow in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they team up to this is an adaptation of Moby Dick, but it's with a big white buffalo and it's a Western. And I've been wanting to watch it. I watched it, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, and was kind of blown away by it. I thought it was going to be like this really silly, stupid old, like if you read about it, they call it a Jaws ripoff, and usually those are not good. It's not a Jaws ripoff. It is very enjoyable. It has this giant animatronic white buffalo in it, and I really liked it. So I ordered it and got it the next day. So let's show that off.
That's awesome.
I also picked these up from the official Godzilla store. They have these special editions of this big 4-disc Godzilla -1. It has like the Ultra 4K, whatever they call those now. Then it has a 4K, a Blu-ray, and then it has the movie in black and white. And it came with a book and everything. So I got that. And then I got kind of the same thing for Shin Godzilla. It's got the black and white version and then the regular and the special, but I, been wanting these, and the editions, the Blu-rays, these are both, there's Blu-rays of both of these movies like on the shelf and Target right now, but they're just like basic, lame. I wanted the special edition. So
yeah, that's like the collector's edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they announced the new Godzilla movie on Godzilla Day.
Yeah, it was Godzilla Day a couple days ago. Yep.
So -0 is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming up.
So minus none?
Minus nothing.
Rename it.
Guys, this was fun. I hope I got a little outro music for us that I'm really excited about. Hopefully this works. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Let's see it.
That's it?
No, here it comes. It's a MIDI file.
It's the karaoke version.
Even worse. It's like the back.
Weak.
Well, look, this is that's show. You know, if you get on my GeoCities website for my Rob Thomas fan club. Hold on, listen.
Are we not going to sing along? And I hear the whisper in the words to melt everyone.
Oh, okay,
You
Frankenstein.
stay so-
I don't know the words, so
My
He's
Mona
thinking about
Lisa.
the ice blocks that are down that Victor Frankenstein keeps Heinrich on.
yeah.
Guys, this was fun.
Hallelujah.
Thank you for being here on YHS. Make sure you subscribe to the channel wherever you're watching it from, whether it's your local podcast feed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or of course here on YouTube. Did you hear that?
Now I just hear this.
Oh, you just hear Rob Thomas. It sounds like an explosion outside. There's people racing on the interstate. I don't like that.
I want more music. Give me music.
All right, here it is. Bye, everybody.
Hi, y'all. Watch Frankenstein. Read Frankenstein. Read books. Well, let's forget about that.